Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. I'm Marilyn and my channel's Making with Marilyn. Now I do all things crafty, but on today's video, I'm going to try out this new tumbler press that I received. Now the brand of this press is Real Cant, and you should be able to see it right there. And they call this a portable press. And so here's what came with it. I have the press, on that side's the name, and then if I turn this around, you can see here's the control panel. Then it came with the power cord, a couple of spare fuses, some more heat gloves, the manual, and then tucked right in here is some cute green heat tape. So I'm going to go ahead and move the camera angle over the top so you can see everything that I'm doing, and we're going to try this out. All right, let's go ahead and see how this works. First thing I want to do is get this tape out of here. So you push on this lever, and that releases the two sides from each other. So we'll get that out. Then when it came to me, the cable that needs to be plugged in was unplugged. Let me show you what I mean. So it needs to be plugged in right here. And there's 4 prongs in there, plus there's a little divot or void in the metal there. So you need to make sure and get that where it goes around this little hump here. And it's probably really difficult for you to see that, but when you see it in person, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So just shove it in, and then you need to screw down this little collar so that it stays plugged in. All right, so let's figure out where you plug this in at. Okay, so the power cord's going to go right here. Okay, so you just push that in. Now, before I plug this into my outlet, I want to go ahead and see what the pressure should be for my tumbler. So I'm just going to set this down in there and close this up. And then I can push on it from the side. And I can move it a little bit. It's not too bad, but I can move it a little bit. So your pressure knobs are right here. So I'm just going to kind of look down through here. I'm going to tighten these up. I'm going to twist on this one for a little bit, and then I'm going to move over here, twist on this one, and try to keep that gap pretty much the same. All right, let me feel that, see if it's snug. It is snug. It does not have to be extremely tight. It just needs to be nice and snug so that your tumbler's not going to move. The other thing I've noticed is when I pre-fit these, then I heat it up. It seems like it's a little bit tighter from the expansion of the tumbler, I guess. Maybe the expansion of the heating element. I'm not really sure. But sometimes I have to loosen it back up after it's heated. And I actually think I have that a little bit too tight because it is very difficult to take enough pressure off this to lift that. So let me back this off just a little bit. Okay, that's much better. All right, let's plug this in and see how the control panel works. Okay, so the on-off switch is right here. It's this green button. So I'm going to press that. And now I need to read the instructions. Okay, so it says to press the OK button, which is right here. So I'll press that once. And P1 is the temperature. I'm going to go ahead and decrease it. It's defaulted for 400. I'm going to put it on 385. Then I hit OK again, and it goes to P2. P2 is your time. So I'm going to set this for 50 seconds. It's set at 35 now, so I'll increase that to 50. So now it says do a long press on the OK, and that set everything in motion. So it's heating up. It's at 176 right now. It is heating up fast. So let me go ahead and get this set back down the way it should be. And then I'm going to go ahead and open it up, which is the way I preheat all my presses. Now when this gets up to temperature, it's going to beep. That's what the instructions said. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap my tumblers. But I will show you so it's not a surprise at the end what I'm going to press. It's a little bit early for Halloween, I know that, but I need to send some of these off. So I'm going to do these skulls. I thought that was beautiful, kind of a rainbow, really bright rainbow. It'll be brighter once it's heated up. And then, of course, you can't read it. It's backwards until it's on there. But it says, Witch's Brew Drink Company, Quality Potions. And at the bottom it says, since 1543. Now, I got these off of Creative Fabrica, so I'll put links to those in the video description. So while I was wrapping my tumblers, because this thing was beeping, I turned it off. When I turned it back on, the settings that I set it on were saved. And so I guess it defaults to your last settings, which I love because I use the same settings all the time. Now they recommend do this for 50 seconds, turn it 180 degrees, do 50 more seconds. So that's what I'm going to do. It's a little bit different than my norm, but I'm going to go ahead and follow their instructions. I am going to have the seam either at the front or the back because I want to have good pressure against that seam. I don't want to start with that up. Now this is HTV Ront paper. If you watch me, you've probably heard me say that I haven't had this bleed through. I always use a butcher paper cradle. Today I'm not going to do that. I hope it doesn't bleed through. I don't think it will. I just have not had that issue with this paper. All right, it's up to temp and it's going to keep beeping until I push enter. So let me go ahead and do this. Now remember how I talked about once it's hot, the pressure is often more than what you need. I had to back those off because it was too much. So let me kind of turn this so you can see. It started counting down automatically. We're at 30 seconds. So when the beep goes off, I'm going to open this, turn it 180 degrees, close it, and do it 50 more seconds. So when this comes out, I'm going to go ahead and set it on this tile, and then I'm going to go ahead and unwrap it and look and see what it looks like. That way, if there's any issues, I can adjust on my other tumbler. All right, I don't want to let this sit too long because it's probably processed enough. So I'm just going to snip in the tape, take it off, and this thing is so hot. So hot. So anytime you're working with a tumbler press or really anything sublimation, be really careful. I'm sneaking a peek. That looks good. I think that's going to be great. I hope so. Now, even though these are heat resistant gloves, they are not heat proof. It still gets very, very hot. I'm sure there's other more expensive gloves, like maybe for barbecuing, but this is what I always use. You just have to be careful. That is super, super cute. That came out super crisp. Really, really nice. Now, you see this fading in here? That was in the design. And then the white you see up here, that's the paper. So when that cools off more, I'll go rinse that off and I'll show you this. But I think that is fabulous. All right, let's do number 2. Now, I'm going to go ahead and decrease the pressure a little bit more because I was having a little bit of difficulty. And then I'm just making sure that my gaps are about even. All right, that looks good. All right, let's see the big reveal. Ooh, that's gorgeous. Now, I don't think I did a great job at the top. Some of that's paper sticking to it. Let me show you. Super bright, super pretty. But I did not do a great job at the top. Now this heating element looks like the heating elements in my other tumbler presses. So I really feel like it was me, user error that caused that. Here's the back seam. But those colors are super vibrant. And then you can see on this one, I got it pressed all the way to the top. So again, the little bit of white that you see, that is user error. This is beautiful. So let me go wash the excess paper off these, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I rewrapped this tumbler, and then I just put the top edge down here. And when I did that, I noticed that there was a gap. I had loosened this up too much. I took too much pressure off of it. So I went ahead and repressed just that top edge, and it looks a lot better. So here they are. Again, this one over here, the Witch's Brew, I did a good job on that. It was tighter. And then the second one, there was quite a bit of white at the top. So again, like I said, I put the tip of it into the press and repressed that. So I fixed it some. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better. The colors are vibrant. It turned out really, really nice. Now, I have this kind of press, and then the same company also sent me your traditional press. So in an upcoming video, I think I'll use both of those and kind of tell you what I think the pros and cons of each are. I'm going to put a link to this press into the video description, and then look for a discount code also. Now, if you haven't subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button and then click the bell, select the all notification. That way YouTube lets you know anytime I upload new content. Now, thanks again for joining me for this video, and until my next one, bye-bye.